Who else do you want to like nominate to do this, or who else do you want to challenge?
So, after doing this, I nominate Albert.
I'd say, oh man, that's tough. That's a good question. I'd say maybe like Albert.
So Albert, I know you are you're skeptical about St. George, as you expressed in the car. But as I told Issa prior to this, I'm gonna give you this bike. Like, this is your bike to have.
This bike?
Mm-hmm. Like we're gonna go get a box when we go back from Lou Miller, so you can fly back with this. This is your bike to keep. This is my old road bike. And granted, it's got many miles on it, so it needs a couple things here and there, like a bottom bracket eventually, and probably some new pulling wheels. But this is yours, man. I want you to have this. I want you to do St. George.
You're doing a lot of pressure on me.
Well, I'm giving you something you can't say no to. Take it for a spin. You don't need shoes. Actually, you know what?
Yeah, it's just
you probably don't want to learn clip-on, right?
Yeah, no, you'll
fall.
Give some regular shoes.
You know, I could just take this as my check-in bag. I didn't make a check-in bag.
He's gonna take
Fit it up.
those are 10s.
It's yours, bro. Fill it out.
Wow, bro. Yeah, go for it.
Is it not too high?
Oh, that's your call. We can always lower
said he
it.
has another
I
post.
lowered it for you.
Yeah.
But if,
Get
over the top tube first.
Use the pedal to hop on the seat,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Fuck, I never use the brakes in the front though.
Look at that. Oh yeah, he's a natural. He's a natural.
Where are we headed to, man?
We are headed to Sand Hollow Reservoir to do a practice swim before we register today. We all got in yesterday at around like 5 o'clock. Did a little warm-up run around town. Got discouraged by how hilly everything is.
Yeah. 18% grade. 18% grade.
We're currently on the bike course, kind of going the opposite way of what the bike course is.
So we're gonna be biking up this hill.
So we'll be going up this hill, yeah. Also, look at that horizon. Look at this rock formation that is.
Oh, that grass.
It's a golf course. Just back out of
Yeah,
here.
they're gonna have to reverse.
Is that like a kind of intercom something?
What does it say?
Nah, it just has a passcode.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah, there's no
Oh,
way.
alright, I got you guys.
Alright, here we go. What do you guys say? Gotta film this. This is high quality content right here.
No, all gas, no brakes.
Yeah,
Reverse out of here.
that's also thick sand. We fall off this thing.
Yeah,
We're getting towed. Okay. But you're getting a view of the bike course.
Yeah, look at that.
Is this guy gonna realize that how's he gonna get around this gate?
It opens.
Watch him open it for us.
Without the plunge. Get in without paying the fee?
Oh, he's going around.
Okay.
What was that?
So the guard shack.
Alright, D-Man. For one whole year,
We're here.
you're back. The
Back-
practice swim.
Back to St. George.
How you feeling, man?
I feel good. I'm gonna get this swimming. Last year I was not ready for this swim at all, but I feel a little better this year. So
Nice day out.
get a
Got
nice-
Bean pulling about the whip.
Yeah, the champ is here.
What are you?
Get this guy out of here.
This guy started.
You're a bronze. What is it called?
Bronze all-world
Hey.
athlete. Thanks.
bronze world athlete right here in our
Let me
presence.
bow down.
Hey man, you already zipped?
No, not yet. You know my graduation thing they just emailed me and said? They said you can't leave early, you have to wait till the end. I'm leaving
So you have to go to the
immediately.
restroom.
Yeah,
So you got
I'm
explosive
gonna be like, I gotta
diarrhea.
go to the bathroom, you guys can't force me to stay.
yeah. Do a cartwheel off stage, tuck and roll.
You got me?
I got perfect. I gotta make sure you get a good zip.
Good zip is like key. Daniel, what do you notice about right now compared to last year?
What do you mean? Like how I feel?
No, I'm saying environmentally wise.
It's not that cold. It's pretty warm right now.
No, I was thinking the wind is not absolutely
Oh yeah, dude.
whipping through here.
Dude, there's like waves. Yeah, it was freezing. Are you gonna have to pull up as this?
Get it, yeah?
You good?
Yeah.
So how you guys feel about the swim?
Feel good so far. Love swimming with the wetsuit. You know, in the beginning, like Beans told me, don't overstride. Sometimes the wetsuit get tired. So don't overstride. Swims.
How you thinking about your swim prediction? Still thinking 48?
Let's aim high, 45.
Okay, 45. D-man?
Good day. 50 minutes flat. 50 minutes flat would be pretty happy. I felt a little better today on swim than I did last year. And in San Dimas, I was kind of panicking the whole time, but I felt good right now. Yeah, let's try it.
50 minutes. All right. What do you think about the temperature?
Brisk, it's nice. It's way warmer than last year, for sure.
Yeah, it's nice. For me, it's not that cold right now, but I know like race morning.
Yeah,
it's gonna
race
be
morning
early.
at 53 degrees will be
A good wake up.
a little different. How you feel
Feel good.
post swim, post practice swim?
Can't complain. Pretty. I think I don't want to be overly confident, but pretty confident as far as the swim goes. The only thing that I'm worried about on race day is that I breathe to my left and the buoys are on the right side. So I don't want to get lost or overswim and waste time overswimming. That's about it.
D-man, what about you?
I feel better after figuring out that I'm dropping my elbow. Now that I fixed it, I feel like I'm not gonna take an hour in the swim anymore, for sure.
Well, that's quite a positive. Yeah, it is a skill. I think the hardest part is you want to like take care of your wetsuit.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're trying to get it off fast.
I don't know if I'm gonna use the helpers, the volunteers that just rip it off.
They usually actually do it fairly clean.
They did it clean.
Yeah.
You saw me slip and slide in the I was like falling, my whole tri-suit was off.
Where are we about to go?
Gotta go check in, register, get everything ready to go. Get our bag.
Last minute supplements.
We gotta buy this dude a belt.
Nothing new on race day except for everything new on race day.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Alright, registration's done. Where are we off to now?
Alright, go back to the hotel. Oh, bike, no?
Yeah, gotta get our bike in.
Make sure our bikes are at 100%.
Make sure everything's ready to go. The Red Hills Parkway.
Yeah?
And then go feast.
Yeah, get that feast going. Alright, D-Man. We're on the way to San Hollow. Drop off your bike. What's your plan for the next 24 hours?
So I'm gonna drop off the bike, drop you guys off back at the hotel, hit the freeway, get to Vegas. My flight is at 1:40 to Burbank. From there, my girlfriend's gonna pick me up. Change, get ready to graduate, walk the stage. They want me to stay till the end, but I'm not. I'm leaving right after I walk. And then get the Suburban. It's already there. My parents are gonna drive. Hopefully get some sleep. I didn't sleep at all last night because of how stressed I was. Hopefully get some sleep on the way. Get to Vegas, pick up my car from the parking spot because I'm leaving my car in Vegas. And then hopefully get some more sleep on the way to St. George. Get to the Airbnb around midnight, 1 a.m. hopefully. Wake up around 3 something so I can get transition and have them look at my bike because my bike sounded a little weird. So I'm gonna try and get as much sleep as I can on the road. And yeah, that's it right there.
And then
That's the plan, and hopefully execute on race day.
time in transition tomorrow?
Time in transition.
Like what time you get into transition?
Oh, 3:30 in the morning. Yeah, it's gonna be dark. I gotta get my bike fixed.
It's a heck of a day.
Yeah, for sure.
Howdy.
Good scope. Oh, we're to bike check-in?
So take a left around this building, back up there, and go around the park.
Oh, around the park?
Southern entrance.
Oh, okay. Thank you, man.
Yep, have a nice day.
Two.
You're good, you're good.
Yeah, so
Pero no le queda mucho.
TSA took off your grill hanger, so we made sure that was properly screwed and reinstalled it. And then, yeah, really just very minor adjustment on the derailleur. It seemed like it was already very solid, but
Yeah, like I said, it was just skipping that last gear. So
yeah, mostly just that. And let's see, there's another note
the
here.
brake rotors.
Yeah. missing a calf or something.
All right. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you see that.
Oh. Yeah, go ahead and get out and go like 8-10 inches inside of it. Do it again.
What made you choose this race?
This race, I chose it because of last year. I feel like I wanted to do better than what I did, than what my results were. And it's a really cool race. It's really tough. Toughest one in North America, but I feel like I wanted to redeem myself. It's a really well-supported race as well.
Wasn't really a choice. I think coming into this, you know, Daniel and Bean, having done it before, like previously, it was just like another tag along to the race. Yeah, basically just coming along with the rest of the gang. I joined them for the Ironman, being a part of this experience with them. What inspired you to start competing in an Ironman triathlons?
I was pretty athletic as a kid thanks to my PE teacher growing up. He was very encouraging and just really, so I guess he saw something in me and decided like I'm going to invest in this kid, and I give him a lot of credit for that because my life would be completely different had I not gone to that school and not had him as a teacher and an influence on me, because prior to coming to that school I had never like touched a basketball or a baseball or any of those things, and like he invested in me from second grade onward, and I started to somewhat shy away from the sort of competitive nature of like team sports and basketball and stuff like that as I got into junior year and senior year. And I started having more fun doing these like individual challenges against myself. So my senior year, I had 3 study halls in a row in the afternoon of school. And so there was a couple times a week where the PE teacher wouldn't have a class either. And so we would go run to the end of the island and back, which was 14 miles. And so that was kind of my first foray into endurance sports. And then when I was in college, I had this wild idea where I was like, I'm going to ride my bike home from college. And it was like, I want to say probably just a little less than like 40 miles. And I had done no training for it. It was just like a beater mountain bike. I didn't have like bike shorts or anything. And I just, I started on the trek one afternoon, kind of like early spring. I think it was like right after the clocks had changed, so I had enough daylight. And I was wearing a winter coat because it was kind of cold, but I remember I sweat so much from how hard I was working that the blue lining from the coat bled all over my skin, and I had like blue skin for like 3 weeks after that. So it really became this sort of pursuit of like pushing myself against myself, not necessarily competitive against other people. Then in college I was part of the Yukon endurance team, where we ran marathons and half marathons, and I really enjoyed the training behind that and sort of pushing myself and having these long weekend runs. And then my first job outside of college, my boss had made a bet with me that I couldn't beat his 70.3 time. And so I, was very motivated to go to the same race that he had done and do that. I had a cross-country background from high school. I rode my bike to work every day, which was like, at the time, 16, 18 miles, something like that. And I figured I just need to learn how to swim. And I thought, that can't be that hard. People swim all the time. And I kept putting it off. And then 3 months before the race, I finally got a gym membership to go swim. I swam 8 laps. I was more exhausted than I've ever been in my life. And I immediately went home and looked up at the race had a refund policy. There was no refunds. And that forced me to, start going to the pool multiple times a week. And I was able to do my first triathlon, and I'm happy to say that I beat his time.
What are your goals for this race?
My goals, first goal is to not cramp up, and I want to be well fed, have a lot of electrolytes in my system, to not cramp. But if we're talking split wise, I want to be around 50 minutes swim. Transition, I don't want to take no longer than 5 minutes. I think last year I did 6-7 minutes transition. For the bike, like 3:15, 3:20, and then another 5 minutes less than that in transition, and then let's say like a 2:10, 2:15 run.
As it's my first 70.3, there's like a lot in my head, what my goals are, what I want to accomplish, what I've already accomplished coming here. For sure, I'm gonna finish no matter what. Like, I'll crawl if I have to the finish line. Like, my goals are to I know what I can achieve for every split, and I just want to know that I just want to achieve that split and get there, and just push myself ultimately, because this is it. This is like, after months and months of training, this is it. Like, just want to push myself for sure.
My goals are to be bold. I've done this race 3 times prior. This is my 4th time doing it. And unfortunately, each time I've done this race, I've gotten slower. And I think the first time I did it, I was very bold, and I did not let fear get in the way of anything. And there, I definitely blew up for sure, but it was like I was reluctant to blow up when I did it. Whereas I think last year I kind of went through the motions of what the race was supposed to be. And it was like, okay, I'm going to swim, I'm going to bike, I'm going to run. And that's fine. But I don't think I ever took any risks last year. And while the run was incredibly difficult, and I was very proud of the run time I put up last year, crossing the finish line and feeling like you didn't really give your best foot forward out there, I think is hard. And so I want to push on Saturday. I want to really push myself to the limit of what's possible on this course. I have no interest in doing a 5:30 race. If I end up with a 5:30, oh well. I still, I will cherish the fact that I got to spend this weekend with Daniel and Albert and Alina, and we got to have this shared experience together, and that will be the takeaway. But ideally, the best takeaway would be having an amazing shared experience with Albert, Daniel, and Alina, on top of the fact that I was bold, put myself out there, and wasn't afraid to fail. And I think that's the goal is, if I need to blow up completely and risk going 5:45, 5:50 or something like that, at the shot of going 5:10, 5:15, I feel 100% comfortable doing that. Because
how upset were you to finish second to Albert and San Dimas try?
San Dimas, I was pretty mad at myself. I didn't do what I needed to do nutrition-wise, and I feel like the training was good, and I think I probably overtrained a little bit too much. I didn't taper well enough. proud of him for finishing first in his first ever triathlon. And yeah, after that, I learned a lot. Went back to the lab, and I feel like I know what to fix this time.
Okay.
You know, going into that race, as it was my first little try, I was super nervous. Didn't really know what to expect. You know, D-Man really, when we got there, he guided me saying, you know, you gotta set up your bike like this. You gotta set up your shoes this way. You know, here's what to expect. So, you know, I felt good that, you know, I did everything on my part. That I did. My swim was really good. My bike was really good. My run was really good. You know, I wouldn't say I beat D-Man, but I beat him at his worst, I would say. You know, he had a really horrible swim. He was cramping up the whole time. The bike, we had like the exact same time on the bike. I was just ahead because of the swim. The run, same thing, he was cramping. So, just wasn't D-Man's best day out there. You know, I was happy we both finished. I came first in our age group, he came second. Even though there was only 5 people in our age group, but still pretty good race. But yeah, I felt good completing the race. Not necessarily thinking about, I want to beat D-Man the whole time. Just I want to see where I'm at physically and see what I need left for the 70.3 in Utah.
It would make me extremely happy to be back at this race in 5 years, and I'm getting off the bike and I'm either trying to chase Albert and Daniel down, or they're right on my heels and I have to keep them at my heels and behind me. So sort of continuing to foster, you know, the growth in this sport, but also being able to watch the people that have joined me at this race, Albert and Daniel, to continue to watch them grow. And then, you know, I hope someday to have a battle with them, and I hope someday to have a battle with my son as well. And I hope it would give me great pride. I would certainly, it would hurt my competitiveness a little bit. I would be a little bit hurt in my ego, but I would also be so full with gratitude and pride in Albert, Daniel, or my son beating me in a triathlon someday.
Would you be happy to finish second?
To finish second? No, not be happy at all. I think that's what I don't want. And then yeah, it's not what I want.
You know, it is my first 70.3. At the end of the day, I'm doing this race for myself. You know, I hit an all-time low after COVID. This has really like helped me grow physically and mentally from where I've been to now. You know, at the end of the day, finishing a 70.3, it is an accomplishment on its own. You know, coming second to D-Man is not the end of the world, but I know our splits, I know his splits, I know my splits. If everything goes to plan, I should come up in front of him, but at the end of the day, everything has to go perfect, so we just have to see how race day goes.
I think there's scenarios where this plays out in a certain way, where I'm not going to say that one is, you know, guaranteed to win and one's guaranteed to lose. I think, you know, I'm extremely proud of both of them, and I think, you know, watching Albert transform from, you know, really having, you know, no engagement with this sport to where he is now, and I think, you know, we're talking about with another year or 2 years, like I think Albert's going to be very competitive in his age group, because he's going to learn these things as he goes and has that firsthand experience. So I'm incredibly proud of, you know, how he's dedicated himself to this mission and getting himself ready for race day. Coming into race day, I have no doubt Albert's prepared. I'm not questioning whether he's prepared or not. Daniel last year, I questioned, I'm not sure he's ready for how hard this day is going to be. That being said, I think Daniel's rededication this year has been something that is extremely admirable, because I've seen him lock in and put in so much quality work to get to race day on Saturday that I know he's going to have a much better time than he had last year. But I think instead of finishing, Daniel truly will be racing this year. He will be racing himself, his time from last year, and he'll be racing Albert. And I think it's, there's kind of two ways to look at it, which is, I think Albert's going to lead out of the swim and Daniel's going to be chasing. And which one's better? Would you rather have the fear that someone's behind you and that they're coming and that they're lurking around the corner? Or would you rather be the chaser where you have something in front of you and you want to catch it? And I think that's where the race has sort of two scenarios. I think if Albert is patient and saves enough for the run, I think he'll be able to execute a very complete race, assuming that he properly fuels himself to have enough calories and carbs throughout the race. But I think Daniel comes in with that wisdom of having one of these under his belt, and he knows how much he can give at certain parts and sort of where that line is. Albert's going to learn where that line is on Saturday, and I think the question is does he cross that line with enough of a time gap to blow up and still get to the finish line, or does he cross that line too early, leaving Daniel, the more experienced, to slowly gain those steps on him and sort of have a stronger finish? So I don't think there's anyone that's guaranteed.
What can campers learn from your race experience?
Campers, like kind of what we said last year, just they can know that they can do things that are hard and it's okay to do things that are hard. I feel like they need to learn, like, from my experience or from what we're doing, that go out and try new things. I mean, I signed up for this race, didn't know how to swim, had to teach myself through YouTube videos, didn't own a bike, and I played baseball, so baseball players know that we don't run at all, so I didn't know how to run like that, and I feel like I got signed into it and I wanted to do something new. So for all you campers out there, if you see something that's difficult, or if you want to go try something that you think is unique, just go out there and do it.
It's okay to try something new. I played soccer my whole life. I've never done it, like, I've never been to biking long distances, not even running long distances, like swimming. Like, it's okay to try something new, and it's not gonna be easy the first time. Like, I signed up for this race in like October, around there, and I wanted to start training as soon as I signed up, but every now and then I'll train and I'll fall back down and I'll be like, alright, I still got like 5 months, 6 months, and I'm like, no, I gotta lock in, I gotta come back. It wasn't really till January where I was like, you know what, I need to really focus. I'm like, I understand kids from camp, they come in, it's a different environment for them. They don't really know what's going on. They're kids at the end of the day, and it's a shock to their system, So, it's okay to do new things. It's okay if you fail the first time. You just gotta keep on going and make it to the end. Race day is finally tomorrow. Yes, I am nervous. Yes, I'm anxious. But after training for the last 5 months and dedicating my life to all the training, every early morning, every extra mile, every ounce of sweat poured has been a stepping stone on my journey. I faced setbacks and disappointments, but each one has only fueled my determination to push harder to reach higher. I've given up sleep and comfort to push myself both physically and mentally, facing doubts and setbacks. Tomorrow, I stand on the verge of accomplishing something great, remembering the sacrifices I've made, the hurdles I've cleared, and the strengths I've discovered. Tomorrow isn't just about crossing that finish line. It's about proving to myself that I can accomplish anything I set my mind on. Tomorrow, I'll go out there to embrace the challenge and show myself what I'm capable of. Tomorrow, I will not just be an Ironman. I'll be an example of what you can achieve with hard work and dedication.
I think sometimes we want to believe that something is out of our grasp. I'm ready to fully embrace that which is just out of reach. I'm looking forward to overreaching and try to achieve something that seems unobtainable. Tomorrow is the culmination of countless hours of training, sacrifices, and a lot of discipline. Sports offer us the opportunity to do extraordinary things that don't happen very often in everyday life. I intend on tomorrow being a day I'll remember forever.
It took a lot of months to get to where I am today. It took a lot of early mornings, a lot of late nights, just working a lot, and I think that it's a lot that goes behind the scenes compared to what Saturday is. Like, it's Saturday's a celebration of everything that we've been through, all the training. It was tough. There was times where I not wanted to quit, but just questioning what I was doing. So when it comes to my race experience, I want someone to know, like, or just anyone to know that it took a lot to get there, a lot of motivation.
in the deep. Where you are, I will be. Anywhere in between.
I woke up race morning. I was pretty anxious. It didn't really hit me until me and Bean packed all our stuff in the van, dropped the van off at the parking spot. As we started walking towards the bus that was gonna pick us up to take us to the reservoir where we were gonna swim, it kind of all hit me at once. I was just anxious, nervous. I was ready though. Race day morning, I just kept thinking and thinking about how my swim was gonna go, how the bike was gonna go, and how the run was gonna go.
I got to St. George around 4 in the morning, and I put an alarm for like, well, I didn't even put an alarm. I put a timer for around 40 minutes. I got like 40. I don't even know if I slept. Changed fast. I got everything I needed. Got my swim cap, my goggles, and then I hit the door. We left around like maybe 5 something ish. I got there kind of late. Bean and Albert were already getting ready. But I mean, race started. I was nervous. I was sleep deprived. But I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking about the race and the rest of the day. But yeah, that was the morning.
I think I slept about 3 hours, approximately, right around there. Probably 2 of those hours were about real sleep. The last hour was kind of that, not fully asleep, kind of awake, but still restful. So I'll take that over last year where it was 45 minutes. I got up first, woke up Bert, get something to eat, kind of do a final check of make sure that we have everything like wetsuit wise and just morning bags and everything like that. Then just sort of make the final preparations, sort of come to terms with like, hey, we got everything. If we forget something, we're gonna have to race without it. So grabbed all our stuff, grabbed D-Man's stuff, and headed down to the bus to catch the bus. Got on the bus. It was like, I think the air temperature was like 50 degrees, but the bus was like 90 degrees inside. So I immediately pulled down the window because I felt like I was gonna vomit. And unfortunately, that entire bus ride where I felt like I should be giving Albert a pep talk, I was barely hanging on, trying not to puke on him or the very kind woman in front of us. So all the way to T1 was a rough ride where I was hanging on, and all week we went to the reservoir 3 times, and I think it took us about 25 minutes each time. On race morning, the route this guy took like 40 minutes to get there. So my pain was just elongated for that time, but made it to T1 and then literally took a breath of fresh air.
T1, we got there super early. So I guess once I finished setting up my bike, putting the gels on my bike, putting the gummies on my bike, I was just kind of pacing around because I was just pacing around. Like I was trying to keep myself busy, trying to keep myself distracted. But once I did everything, I was just making sure I have everything set up correctly, and I can everything set up efficiently where I can just come after the swim and just put everything on real quick and head on off.
Pre-race, I think I felt nervous, but I felt ready. I was taking in the right electrolytes. I actually didn't really eat before the race. All I ate was that gel before the swim. But I was just thinking about what I'm gonna eat on the bike, what I'm gonna eat on the run. I was thinking ahead pretty much. I was, nervous obviously, but I knew what to do, and I was just thinking about my plan all the time. And slowly, as we prepped to the race, swim start, that's all I was thinking about. So, yeah, that's how I felt during the beginning of the swim.
Sure, I pumped the tires. I make sure I wanted to set up my nutrition, open the packages, stick the gummies to the bike, grease my chain, and yeah, just make sure everything was ready, working, and then make sure Albert and D-Man were straight. Try to get a chance to go to the bathroom, and then I think it's like I think we had almost an hour and a half while we were there, and it felt like 20 minutes to get everything ready. So we kind of felt like I was in a rush the whole time. Got everything ready, put on the sunscreen, zipped up the wetsuits, national anthem, put everything in morning clothes bags, dropped that, and then off to the races. Try to get a good spot in the swim canal, and that was it.
The swim, I hit a PR, so it was a pretty good swim for me overall. It felt really long, like it felt longer than 1.2 miles. It just felt really long. Like going out was cool. Once I hit that like turnaround point, it just felt super long. But I was surprised how congested it was. There was just so many people. So like every now and then, like you would get hit or you hit somebody. And yeah, it was just like, it was new, like swimming open water, like with so many people around me. So, but I was pretty calm. Once I got into the groove, I felt good. I felt strong. I felt ready. All I thought about was I gotta get this done and go straight to the bike.
I don't really think it went as good as it could have been. I felt I kind of was just thinking about not swimming more than what I did. Last year I wasn't sighting at all. So this year I really decided to slow down, look at where the buoys are, keep the head down, stay focused. Don't really try and go fast. I don't want to burn out and cramp up, which is what I did last year. So I slowed down myself significantly. As you can tell, I wanted to do it in 50 minutes. I did it in exactly an hour, which I think is around 5 minutes faster than what I did last year, but I wanted it to be like 10, 15 minutes faster. But yeah, I took my time. The last like 100 yards, I was going all out, and one of my legs kind of seized up a little bit because the last 100 yards, I was kicking really hard, and my left, it still kind of hurts. My left calf started seizing up. I wouldn't say it was a full cramp, but I was like, damn, I felt good the whole swim. I was sighting well. I touched almost every buoy, and I think going slower and sighting well and not kicking as hard made my swim faster. But I think there's still a lot to improve technique-wise. So yeah, that's how the swim went.
I just thought it was way longer than 1.2 miles. Like having just done Puerto Rico, like a month and a half ago, I know what 1.2 miles feels like. I've seen it, I felt like I was searching for buoys constantly on this course, and I was swimming close to them. I wasn't off course on the first part. So it just felt like it was a really long swim. Then I took the turn. I misplaced the turn. I didn't realize it was like I had a diagonal. I thought it was more of a 90-degree turn. And I had to kind of get back on track there. Once I finally got back with the turn buoy, I got even with the island, and I thought, oh my goodness, the swim's almost over. And then it felt like 1.2 miles from that point to the finish. So as I started to see the ground, start to think about like, okay, I'm gonna have to stand up. All that blood's gonna, flow, but I still got to be efficient. So, take off your cap, take off your goggles, all that stuff. So as soon as I hit the boat ramp, goggles off, start the wetsuit, unzip, run to my bike.
Yeah, going up Snow Canyon, I feel like I prepared myself really good mentally. So I knew Snow Canyon was coming. So I really didn't want to give it my all on the hills before Snow Canyon, because I knew I needed that extra strength for Snow Canyon. But going up those hills, I was just keep telling myself slow and steady, like just keep pedaling, slow and steady up that hill. But once I hit the downhill on Snow Canyon, all I kept thinking to myself, I gotta run a half marathon after this.
So during the bike, at the beginning, I was really getting into a groove. and I was making sure I was well fed in the beginning. I was eating a lot. I was taking a lot of salt pills. The first like 15 miles, I was drinking well. And at mile, I'd say 16, 17, when you're going up, kind of like the first real hill, I felt good. I was passing up a lot of people that passed me earlier, and I started to feel something in the back, like something wasn't right with my bike. I get off, I have a complete flat tire on my back wheel, and I'm like, of course, I got a flat tire driving to Vegas. I got a flat tire driving the bike. So I was like, damn it. And I look at my watch and I'm like, okay, it's this time. Let's see when I get on my road. I take off the wheel. I start getting my flat kit, and then the cop drives to me and he's like, oh, I can call someone. They'll be here quick. It takes a while for him to get there. I don't blame him. I know there's probably other people with flats. I'd say like 25 minutes later, I got back on the bike. So I was feeding myself. I didn't want to like panic and just be like, I'm done with the race. I don't want to race anymore, because I knew there was a lot of time left. But it sucks because all of that preparation I did was supposed to make me like, hopefully like 30 minutes an hour faster. But that flat pretty much took away all of that. And it was really, really hard to keep going. After that, I was pretty much just trying to stay optimistic, stay positive, but it was hard. I ended up getting to Snow Canyon. I was doing good nutrition-wise. I was eating at the aid stations. I was getting the water, dumping it. Nutrition-wise on the bike, I felt really good. And then once I hit Snow Canyon, like, I had no more water and everything. I'm like, all right, I fed myself before. I just got to get to the top. And with like a mile to go, which is the steepest hill, I get off the saddle, and I push hard, and my chain falls off my gearing system in the really steep part. So I'm like, okay, stay positive, like, you know what to do. I push the derailleur down and get it back on to the easy gear. But getting back on the bike was incredibly tough to clip back in. I think that alone took like almost 10 minutes just trying to get back on and fixing it. So that really got me mad, and it was so hard to get to the top. But once I did get to the top, water, gel, the aid station was quick. On the way down, I was pretty anxious because I was like, it's getting close to cutoff time because everything that's happening, like, I gotta go. So yeah, downhill, I was just pushing it. Like, I was probably hitting 40 miles per hour. Like, I didn't care. I needed to get to the aid station already. I mean, to the T2 already. So yeah, that was my adventurous bike ride.
Started, I didn't feel good on the bike, and I thought to myself, like, it's a long race. Like, you have plenty of time to settle in. Obviously, you know, I'm breathing hard from the swim, and I didn't feel super great in the first little approach where you're kind of on or along the beach there. And I thought, yeah, I'll settle in for sure. And unfortunately, my stomach felt just as sour as it did on the bus, and it just kind of wasn't coming around. So normally I take some nutrition in the first 15 minutes, but I thought I was going to vomit if I did that. So I kind of put that off for as long as I could. I was drinking a little bit, which had calories, so I wasn't super worried. You know, you got to always be able to adapt as you do these races. So I hit the first climb. I actually was pushing pretty good power up the climb, despite my power meter definitely not being calibrated correctly. I pushed good power up the climb. I think I got through that first climb pretty well, and then I just was like, hey, this was the part I talked about being bold. So I put my head down, got an arrow, and just absolutely flew down those hills. I think I was like 37, 38 miles per hour for those next like 2 miles. When we got through that first aid station, which I think is entirely too early, that was when I decided that I was going to take my first fig bar, eat that, and hope that would settle my stomach. I think I pushed inconsistent power. I don't think I felt strong all day, but like right around mile 25-ish, I want to say, my hips just really started hurting. Like, I felt like a 90-year-old, person needs to get a hip replacement. And that was very worrisome because that obviously is going to affect my power. And so the bike wasn't very great, but I knew Alina and Nikki were going to be at the corner of Red Hills Parkway, and I think it's 500 East. So I was looking forward to seeing them, and I had that goal of being somewhere between 20 and 21 miles per hour when I saw them. And I saw them, and I was averaging 20.5 at that point. So I thought, I'm still in line to have a good bike split. Like, I'm not in too much trouble. I got through the Red Hills Parkway section pretty efficiently, I think. But then the section that's the approach to St. George to Snow Canyon, I really started to hurt and feel like I was just not capable of pushing any power. Like, it just wasn't happening. And so on the out and back right before Snow Canyon, I on the sort of false flat downhill, I thought I got to get as much time as I can right here because I'm about to pay for it on the way back, and then obviously Snow Canyon itself. So I pushed hard there, got into Snow Canyon. I knew based on, our virtual riding experience, the ride to the guard shack was kind of slow. So I sort of ate that up. Despite not feeling good, when I hit the guard shack, I knew like, hey, this is the part that's kind of not that steep. So I tried to lay down good power from there until the like little campground area. So I did that. I was proud of myself for pushing through despite not feeling good. Then honestly, the rest of Snow Canyon was like survival. There was no like strategy of I'm gonna push here. There was this woman with a That Triathlon Life kit on, and her and I kind of jockeyed back and forth the whole time. Fortunately, I knew the canyon well because of our virtual riding. So I knew when we hit 11% the first time, there was going to be a reprieve of like 7% for a little bit. Then we were going to hit the 11-12%. So I kind of let her know. She asked me like, oh, this is my first time. Like, when is the end? And I said, like, we've got one more hard section, then we're going to see the guard shack, and that's the end. So like, I was sort of reassuring her, but at the same time, I was reassuring myself, like, hey, we're pretty close to the end. We got to the final sort of descent, and the wind was just absolutely whipping. And I wanted to be bold, and I think I was as bold as I possibly could be. There was one section where I kind of almost got blown into a cone and crashed. So I decided that section I was going to get out of the aero bars and sort of hit the brakes a little bit. But for the most part, on that section, I was bold like I promised myself. The headwind didn't allow for those, super high max speeds. But coming into town, it was just like, hey, the legs, like, I think there's still a chance to have a good run here, despite like this bike being a little bit slower than I wanted. And that's okay. Like, maybe I can do something cool on the run and have like a good run. So
T2, got my shoes on, there's like a little aid station right before you start the run. And I had dropped like all my gels and like my gummies on the bike. So I was starting to like cramp up. So on the first like little transition when you get out from the run, start the run, there's like a little aid station, but they only had water and sunblock. And I was like, where's the Coke? I need Coke, like, I need sugar, I need something. And they're like, oh, that's at the next transition. So I'm running like I'm running as I'm running up the course, and I don't see another transition. I mean, another aid station. Like, I don't see it anywhere. And the first aid station after that was pretty far, and it was like a straight uphill run. So, but once I hit the aid station, kind of like, let me get a second wind and really start picking it up a little bit.
Yeah. So coming into town, I had a plan. Like, I want to have a good run. I want to try to have a good run at least, because the bike wasn't what I wanted it to be. So I'm like, let's make up the time. Like, I'm going to do a good run. I get to my transition bike. I see you there, and I was telling you about everything. And I'm like, I'm being like, I feel good. I feel like I'm ready to do a good run. I got my shoes on. I wasn't cramping up like compared to last year. I got the salt pills in the bag, and I'm like, nothing else went to plan. Like, might as well go hard on the run. Like, I gotta try. And yeah, and then I get to that first little aid station out the run. Mentally, I'm like, nothing has been going good. Let's just try and stay optimistic, and let's finish this race. Like this is gonna be a good run. if only I would have knew what the run was gonna have mentally and physically as well. Like, if I would have knew, it would have been crazy. But yeah, I got some water right before I left. No sunscreen. I didn't have any Coke or anything. I was hoping they would have. It was just water and sunscreen. I got a little bit of water, and yeah, that was transition. That was T2.
Run, honestly, I came whipping out of transition. Like, I was ready, high cadence, and there was some guy in the crowd that said, "Look at this guy." And sure enough, I looked down at my watch as I was coming off Tabernacle into that first roundabout, and I was averaging 6:10, which was way too hot for if I wanted to survive this run. But as you know, that first hill humbles you pretty quickly, so that pace dropped quite quickly. But once I got onto Diagonal, I settled into like a 7:20, 7:30 pace. And it just felt like the first aid station was forever long to get to. So yeah, did that. First lap, easy. Felt like first lap came really easy. Second lap was where things got real, and I just thought to myself, I'm going to bleed time on the uphills and then try to maximize on the downhills. I was cramping pretty bad in my hamstrings, so I was relying a lot on salt pills and mortal hydration to try and relieve that. I really I obviously didn't want to walk, but mile 9.5, like the top blew off, and I just I was cramping so bad. And so from mile 9.5 to 10.5, I walked a fair amount, but like probably only 20, 25 seconds at a time. So I don't think I took too much of a hit. But yeah, once I got to the downhill part of the golf course, it was like, looked at my watch and it was like, hey, I still have a chance to get under 150 for this run. So let's see if I can do it. And so I just pushed and like didn't stop at the last, I think, was at 2 or 3 aid stations, and just kept pushing. There's the little out and back before the finish line, and I saw Alina at that point, and like she saw me, and it was probably the ugliest running form. I was just huffing and puffing to try and get to that finish line.
Once I hit that second loop, coming down that golf course, like touching that grass, running through that grass on that hill, that last aid station before the second to last aid station, coming out the golf course, you know, I was like, all right, I got 2.5 miles. I drank the Coke. I sipped some water, dumped some water in my head, drank some Gatorade. I started picking it up. Once I hit the turnaround, like a mile away, and it was like downhill, I booked it. I started running as fast as I could. My last mile was my fastest mile of the whole half marathon, so I started booking it. I saw a person in front of me. I was like, all right, I gotta take them out, pass them. Saw another person in front of me. All right, I gotta take them out. I'd pass them all the way until the end, basically. And like once you hit that, you enter like this little. There's like 2 little rows that separate second lap and the finish line. You hit the finish line. You see all those people on the sidelines. It kind of like hypes you up. It gets you like, it's like surreal. It's like it makes you like happy. Just like running all the way through. Honestly, like when I was running, I was sprinting. And I felt like almost emotional. Like almost like I wanted to cry, just because it was like I was taking everything in at once. But yeah, I just felt good. Like the last maybe 500 feet, I like just booked it, like completely sprinted the whole thing. Like, and then once I got to there, you know, they give you the medal, they give you your little hat, take away your time chip, and then, you know, I saw Bean right there sitting down waiting for me. So honestly, it was a great feeling. You know, like how Bean said in previous documentaries, like if you can bottle up that emotion you feel at the finish line, like you would be rich. Because it's just such a great feeling to have. Like it's worth feeling all these other painful things on the bike and the run and the swim. Like that last little finish line and that feeling is definitely worth it.
So yeah, the first 6 miles I walked a good amount. I wasn't really feeling the best. Mentally, I was done. I wasn't trying to go fast anymore. I was just trying to finish, which is not great. I think if I look at my splits, the first 6 miles are the worst miles of the whole race, which is not what I wanted. I wanted my first 6 to be good, be solid. but it was just a lot of climbing, and I feel like I wasn't physically ready. I feel like nutrition-wise, I Coke, chips, water, some Gatorade, and ice down the back. But when I got to the second loop, and I started, and I was going up the hill, and I see Albert, that kind of motivated me a little bit. It's like, all right, I got to finish quick. Let's try and get this done. I wouldn't say running. I was pretty much jogging up to like mile 9, and I didn't stop, because what got me mad is I was walking a lot during the first 6 miles up those steep hills. But yeah, I get to the second loop. I see Albert motivated. I get to like mile 10 or anything, mile 11, I think, and I'm like, I gotta just try and go as hard as I can the last 3 miles back into town. And the last couple of hills in the golf course really tested me, but I was like, I can't walk anymore. I just gotta finish. And then yeah, I think the last 2 or 3 miles were the fastest miles, because it's all downhill. And I was like, let's just finish the race at this point. Like, it's been a crazy day. I could talk about it later. There's nothing I can do to change my time. Like, I just gotta finish. So yeah, I was mentally done, physically done, and I just wanted to get back fast so I could finish the race already.
I had a very mixed emotions. I crossed and I looked back, and the time actually said that I finished in 4:52, which would have been a major PR for me. So I was in shock, but I couldn't do the math in the state that I was in. But as I was doing the math, I was like, something doesn't add up here. So I knew there was no way that was actually my time, like 5 minutes after. But I was very much in shock, totally cramped up, just trying to catch my breath. And so, yeah, I think the emotion was just like, I'm really proud of rallying from, not feeling very good on the bike to my stomach not feeling good all day, but still having a run that I think I'm proud of. Like, just, proud of myself for finishing and still having a good run despite, things not going my way that day. And that happens sometimes in racing. Sometimes, you're the hammer, other times you're the nail.
One thing for sure, people in like the triathlon community, super nice, super supportive. Like everyone on the runs, they keep it up. Like, they would see me, go work, which surprised me, Like in my head, I'm racing against them, but they don't see it like that. They see like, oh, like, you're completing something that's not easy, and not everyone does. I think the training was harder than the race on itself, but it was definitely a cool experience just to see myself, push myself to my physical fitness. I would definitely do another race. I don't see why not. Seeing what happened on the run and on the bike and on the swim, I can see what I can improve on and do during training if I do another race, and hit a new PR on the next race. But yeah, just overall great experience. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad to do another one. But yeah,
I was just glad that the race was over. I don't know what feelings, what emotions I had. I was relieved that I was finished, but I was more so annoyed and mad about how my day went. It was pretty much like the worst case scenario type of day, like, oh, what if this happens, or what if that happens? Like, that's what happened during the race. All those bad scenarios are exactly how the race went. I don't know exactly what emotions we're feeling. I know I was mad. I know I was disappointed for sure. But yeah, just relieved to finish the race and start to think about what I could do better next year. I saw myself, and I was proud of myself for continuing the bike even after everything that happened. And I'm glad I was mentally strong during the run. I wish I was a little tougher, but it's okay. I can work on that during training. And a big shout out to everyone behind the cameras, all the volunteers, my family, like everyone that came to support all of us. I know it was a long day, so yeah, shout out to them. Thank you guys.
I don't see why not. Maybe one at the end of this year, or one at the start of next year. I feel like I'm in good shape right now. Like, I want to keep that up. I want to get into better shape. So yeah, that training, having that race on the calendar really helps with staying in shape and keep on training to get better and stronger.
Let's see what you guys come up with. I want to do Oceanside. I heard the bike pavement is terrible, and with my luck, I probably have 5 flats during the whole race. So I really want to do Oceanside because of the run. And it's the first ever Ironman that I've ever been to film beat. So I want to do that one. I know there's a lot of options. So within the next couple of months, let's figure out what we're gonna do, and I'm down for whatever. I personally want to come back to St. George. I know I can do way better, and I would be happy if we came back here. I know exactly what time I couldn't get if nothing goes wrong. So yeah, but Oceanside is another good option. But whatever it is, we're definitely doing an Ironman next year for sure.
I have another race literally 2 weeks from today. Same distance, Ironman Chattanooga 70.3 in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And I'm actually really happy because I think yesterday's race is going to help me carry fitness into that. I think what a perfect training day yesterday was to get me ready. We'll see if I recover in time, but I guess taper starts right now. 2025, I plan on doing another race with Albert and Daniel. I think we got to figure out what that is. I think my top contenders would be St. George again would be great. Possibly Gulf Coast in Panama City Beach, Florida. Or Texas 70.3 in Galveston would all be, I think, top contenders for us to do. I am extremely proud of both Albert and Daniel for, their discipline in training and preparing for this race. And then they had completely different races, yet their execution really showed that they exemplified that perseverance of navigating the hard spots and getting through to the other side. And I think that's a life skill, but in racing, that's honestly how you're going to have your best race, because there's no 70.3 where you're going to feel good the whole time. But it's about finding those opportunities to persevere and get through to where maybe you took a gel or you took a salt pill and all of a sudden you start feeling good. So I think it's awesome that, both of them, while having different races, were able to navigate, how to have a successful race for them, given the conditions and whatever was put in front of them for that to happen. I think the St. George community continues to impress me with how many people turn out for this race. It's still probably the most spectated race I've ever been to. I love this town. I love the beauty of it. I love this course despite how brutal it is to me, and despite, I think, probably never having a great race here. I think that it's definitely one that keeps you coming back because it is that challenge and the town really does embrace it. And so I think the final thoughts is I had an awesome week. I cherished the time I got to spend with Daniel, Albert, Alina, Nikki. I think that was just such an experience that's going to bond us for the rest of life. So yeah, these are the things that I live my life for, is these shared experiences where you can reminisce about it for for eternity. So I'm forever grateful for this weekend. And yeah, I hope to be back. And as always, despite getting older, I still want to put, a faster time on the board year over year. So I think that's about it.
This is you ending fire. Then we shall all burn together. Watch the flames climb high into the night, calling out, Father, oh, stand by and we will watch the flames burn over and on the mountainside.